So here, generally, first of all, we know what is meant by process communication. So to complete any process execution, so for that purpose, that particular process was communicate or sending the messages from one resource to the another resource, or IO to the any specific resource. So such kind of communication, so is nothing but the process communication. So now inter-process communication means to complete that particular process execution, so that particular process was communicates with some other processes, so that is nothing but inter-process communication. So here that is also mentioned as processes within a system. So there are several processes within a system, that is nothing but inter-process communication. So here these inter-process communication can be implemented either independent way or cooperating method. So here independent way means nothing but that particular process was communicates with remaining other processes without any dependency. And cooperating process means nothing but, so here each and every process was cooperates to completion of that particular process execution. So now we can observe, while we are going to performing the cooperating process, so that can be affected or affected the other processes. So why? Because here these all processes was dependency, there is some dependency to complete that particular process execution. So even though not only processes, that means there are not only multiple processes was dependent, so in case there was using some common memory, so here there was multiple processes was used some common memory, so that is also mentioned as cooperating processing. So here why, what are the several reasons to choosing the cooperating processes? So those are due to these reasons we can prefer cooperating processes. Those are information sharing, computation speed up, modularity and convenience. So due to these things we are prefer cooperating processes. So those are information sharing, that means we can easily share the whatever the available information from one process to the another process. And while we are using the cooperating processing, at that situation it can improve the process of or speed up of the particular process completion or process execution. And next one is the modularity. So that means we can divide that particular process communication in that particular process execution into multiple or several sub processes and then completing the such process execution. And it was very conveniently used by the users or developers to completing that particular process execution. So due to these reasons we can prefer the cooperating process. So while we are going to performing the cooperating process, so to complete such cooperating process we need inter-process communication. That means with the help of inter-process communication we can complete the cooperating process. So here there are two methods or two modes of inter-process communication. Those are shared memory and another one is the message passing. So now we discuss what is meant by shared memory and what is meant by message passes. So here we can observe this first diagram indicates the message passing system and the second one is the shared memory. So here message passing means to complete process execution, that particular process was depends or cooperated with some other processes. At that situation here one process was sending the messages to the another processes, that means here these number of processes was sending some messages to complete their execution. So here we can observe there is some process A, process B and so on, and this is the message queue. So message 0, message 1, message 2 and so on, message n. So in this manner. And coming to the shared memory methodology, so here more than one process can share some common memory to complete their process execution. So that is the shared memory concept. So these are the two communication models in inter-process communication, shared memory and message passing. How these multiple processes can be cooperated with some single process or to complete the such processes means, in case we are using the independent approach or independent process, so in this process it doesn't affect or not affected by the execution of another process. So here independent cooperating processes means, so that particular process cannot affects the some other process execution. So that is nothing but independent process. And the cooperating process means so the particular process execution can affect or can affected some other process executions, that is the cooperating process. So these are the two methods. So here what are the just now we discussed this. So what are the several advantages of the cooperating process? Information sharing, computing speed up, modularity, and then convenience. So now we observe while we are going to using the cooperated method cooperating process at that situation. So whatever the several problems was faced by the developers or faced by the those process communication. So first one is the producer consumer problem. So now we observe what is meant by producer consumer problem. So first of all, what is meant by producer, what is meant by consumer. So here while we are using the cooperating process, here produces process, so that means the producer process produces the information. So here which process was producing some information, that is nothing but producer process, and that information is consumed by the some other process. So who was consuming that information? So that process is called consumer process. So by simply who was providing the information, so that is producer, who was accessing the information, that is consumer process. So that is the basic definition for the producer and consumer. So now we observe what are the problem among this producer and consumer problem. So while we are going to implement this producer and consumer problem, so we are using the several buffer mechanism to solving this such producer consumer problem. So there are commonly we are using two types of buffers. One is the bounded buffer and another one is the unbounded buffer. So here bounded buffer means it was having some boundary, so that means some limit size of buffer. Unbounded means there was no limit on buffer size. So these are the two methods was used in producer consumer problem. So that means in case, for example, you are the consumer, myself producer. Here what is the communication strategy here means you are requesting some information. So I will processing that request and share such information to you. So that is nothing but producer consumer. So in this process, what is the problem means in case you are requested some information, so that information size that information you can't able to access at a time. So you are requesting some information, that information was provided by the producer, okay fine, but you can't able to access such entire information at a time. So for that purpose we are using some buffer. So simple గా చెప్పాలంటే okay, so for example you need 10 MB of data, just assume. So you want to access some data, so that data size is 10 MB, but your capability is at a time you can receive only 1 MB of data. At a time you can receive or you can read only 1 MB of data, but here producer can produce 10 MB of data at a time. So at that time you can able to access such data properly, not able. So to overcome from such problems we are using the buffer concept. So what is the buffer concept here? So here producer was produce such entire data to the consumer buffer. So here consumer was maintaining this some buffer. So why we are using the buffer means whenever a receiver was not able to receive such entire data at a time, at that time, so if temporarily such data was stored into the buffer, after that that receiver node was slowly receiving such entire data. So that's why we are using the buffers. So here these buffer methods are two, these buffer mechanisms was used two types. One is the bounded and unbounded. So here bounded means there is some fixed buffer size, unbounded means there is no limitation on the buffer size. So these are the two methods. So here we can observe how to providing the solution for the producer consumer problem by using bounded buffer. So just now we discussed bounded buffer means some fixed size. That's why here we are defining the buffer with some fixed size, either 10. So here 10 buffer size is 10 means here user, that is the consumer, can able to access up to 9 only. So that is 0 to 9 blocks of buffers. So this is the buffer size and we are defining this some structure. And finally we are using this particular buffer, so that is item space buffer. So here buffer size is already mentioned, that is 10, and we are declaring the some input and then output. So in indicates input value and out indicates output value, so by default we can consider zeros. So this is the some proper solution for solving the producer consumer problem in bounded buffer manner. So here consumer can use only buffer size minus 1 elements, that means up to 9 elements. Why? Because it was started from 0, so 0 to 9. In case buffer size is 20, then it will allocate from 0 to 19. So this is the code was used to implement the producer in bounded buffer. So here what is the next item, and if there is any next item is true, that means is there any process is waiting, at that situation it can execute their body. So it contains input plus 1 mod buffer size, so both are is equivalence to out. So what is the meaning of that one? So currently input buffer location is, just assume 5, and the buffer size is 5. So that means so currently located current location is 4 and buffer size is 5. So అంటే మనకు బఫర్ ఫుల్ అయిందా లేదా ఎలా చెక్ చేస్తున్నాం అంటే దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఫార్ములా. సో ఇన్ ప్లస్ 1, that is the 4 plus 1 5 mod 5, total buffer size is 5, 5 mod 5 is 0. So that indicates their buffer memory is filled, so that's why it doesn't perform anything in this manner. So this is the code for consumer, not for producer, consumer. So here whenever the next item is consumed, then it will check the condition. While it is true, then is it check either in and out both are equal or not. In case equal, not perform anything. In case not equal, then go to next consumed equals to whatever the content in buffer. So that's why. So next consumed equals to buffer of out, and out equals to out plus 1 mod buffer size. Again it will check is it entire memory was filled or not, full or not, in this manner. So these are the process, these are the details about the producer consumer problem in shared memories, interprocess communication. So now we observe one more thing, interprocess communication for the shared memory. So here shared memory means already we know some amount of memory was accessed by the multiple processes or multiple users. So that is nothing but shared memory. So that means there is some area of memory, so that memory that area of memory is shared among several processes. So that is nothing but why that particular memory is shared by the several processes means to communicate to processing something. So that is nothing but shared memory. So in this communication, this entire processing communication is controlled under the some user process. So not controlled by the operating system. So this entire process is controlled by the some user process. So in this process, whatever the major issues means to providing the proper mechanism. So why we are providing the proper mechanism is to allowing the user to processing and synchronizing their actions when it was accessing from the shared memory. So that means whenever we are going to accessing the data from shared memory, at that situation how to implement user processes. So that means which user can access the data at which time and which user can overwrite that particular data. So these all are the some issues. So that is the major problem with the inter-process communication. For example, there is some shared memory that is accessed by the 4 peoples. Here person 1 was using that particular memory for just reading the data. Person 2 was used for writing the data. Person 3 was used for some other purpose. Some person 4 was used for closing, that means deleting that particular data. So in this process what happened, ఇక్కడ person 3 are trying to write something, at that situation person 1 was reading that particular data. So అలాంటప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, whatever the exact data was requested by the user, such data will be modified. అంటే మనం యాక్సెస్ చేస్తున్న పర్పస్ ఏంటి అనేది చేంజ్ అవుతుంది. వై? బికాస్ సమ్ అదర్ యూజర్ వాస్ ట్రైయింగ్ టు మోడిఫైయింగ్ దట్ పర్టికులర్ డేటా. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద మేజర్ ప్రాబ్లం. And one more mechanism in inter-process communication is message passing. So already at the beginning of this session we was discussed the message passing and shared memory. So in shared memory, more than one process was commonly accessing some memory location. In message passing, we are passing the messages from one process to another process. So here, to synchronizing this such inter-process communication, so we are using the several actions. So those actions are performed by the message passing. That means to processing something. So for that purpose, we are generating some message and send that particular message to some other process. So that means here, while we are going to performing the communication among several processes at that situation, so to communicate with one process to another process, we are using the messages. So then such messages can be passed from the one place to the another place, or one process to the another process. So that is nothing but a message passing. So here in inter-process communication, so it was providing the two types of operations, that is send and receive. So it was either sending the message or receiving the message. Whenever it wants to send the message at that situation, it was using the send operation. Whenever it wants to receive something at that situation, it was using the receive operation. So in this manner. So these message sizes is maybe either fixed or variable. So in case, for example, now we can observe some simple example. There are two processes P and Q. So those both processes want to communicate. Then for that purpose, those must be established some communication link. Why it was establishing some communication link? So that means to exchanging the information from process P to process Q. For example, currently I am saying something about the operating system. You are listening the such details. How we are communicated with the help of some network connection. So at the same way, here we are using some communication link between those two processes or multiple processes. So with the help of this communication link, these nodes can exchanging the messages, which may be sending either I am sending the message or receiving the message from you. So in this process, what are the several issues while we are going to implementing the message passing means how such links can be established. So links ఎలా establish చేయాలి. So that is the major problem. And in case that particular link is associated with more than one process, and that particular process can be, sorry, that particular link can be used for more than two processes at that situation, who will access that particular link at which time? So at particular time, which node can access that particular link? So that is the one design issue. And in case there is some link among several processes at that situation, at max, how many processes can use that particular link at a time? Either single process or multiple processes. So that is the another issue. And what is the capacity of a link? So at a time it can allow how many number of processes to exchanging their messages among the such network. So that is the one more issue. And in case the size of a message is fixed or variable. So whatever the message we want to exchange among that particular link, that message size is either fixed or variable size. And in case that particular link is either unidirectional or bidirectional. So these are the several issues. Here unidirectional means at a time that particular communication link can send the data, either passing the message or passing the data to one direction only, either from P to Q only. And multidirectional, or sorry, bidirectional means, so at a time it can communicate from P to Q and Q to P. So that kind of things. So while we are going to implementing the message passing at that situation, so how we are going to implementing the link, that means a connection. So for that purpose, there are two things. One is the logical and another one is the physical. So here physical indicates how that particular memory will be shared, and is there any hardware was used to communicating with one process to another process, and whatever the network. So these all are the some physical communication links. So regarding the logical is that particular link is either direct link or indirect link, or synchronous or asynchronous, either automatic or explicit buffering. So these are the several things. So here direct or indirect means nothing but so directly it was sending or receiving the messages or not. Synchronous or asynchronous means it was at a time it was sending either single users data or multiple users data. In case multiple users data, then those are synchronized or asynchronous. Synchronized means those multiple users data can be combined as a single process or single message and then communicate with multiple processes. And next one is it automatic explicit buffer. So that means in case those are using some buffer memory for processing or passing the messages. At that situation, in case it was exceeding the buffer memory size, then how to controlling such thing. So these are the several things. So these are the details about the message passing. In next session, we can discuss about direct communication and some others related to the inter-process communication.